Welcome to your weekly technology segment from the NASDAQ market site. This week, security and privacy concerns were magnified. All eyes were on Twitter earlier this week after the account of the Associated Press was hacked. The news organization is not alone in being hacked. Other English-based news outlets have been victims recently, and it just highlights how defenses against security breaches are very vulnerable. In the aftermath of this week's breach, which triggered a triple-digit decline for the Dow Jones Industrial Average, there are debates about safety. Now, social media authentication issues were highlighted, as well as new ways to better protect usernames as well as accounts. Now, spear-phishing attacks can be detrimental to business and individuals alike, so we all need to stay vigilant when it comes to these types of attacks. This month, the SEC allowed companies to distribute information via social media sites, but this policy raises some security concerns and question marks about the impact of breaches on market stability. This issue will undoubtedly continue to swirl around the net and continue to be at the top of the agenda for security analysts and policymakers alike. Now, speaking of internet security, the Australian Federal Police reeled in an individual claiming to be the leader of LulzSec. The 24-year-old Australian citizen was arrested earlier this month following an investigation into an attack on an Australian government website. The IT specialist was arrested and captured about 50 miles north of Sydney. Apparently, the individual has a history of exaggerating his online expertise and embellishing his online identity. Now, LulzSec is short for the International Computer Hacking Collective, Lul Security. The group is known for its attack that hit the CIA website back in 2011. And Apple's earnings report brought mixed reaction from investors and analysts. The tech giant reported fiscal second quarter earnings and revenue that topped forecasts, but the company reported its first profit decline in a decade. The iPhone maker raised its quarterly dividend and also announced the biggest buyback plan in history. Over 20 analysts slashed their price target on Apple following the quarterly earnings report. Now, there are still questions about growth for the company and Apple's product lineup. Now, the company is currently working on new products and is also considering the prospect of dipping its toes into new product categories. By the end of the week, some of the focus shifted to other Apple news. The annual Worldwide Developers Conference in San Francisco will take place from June 10th to the 14th. Now, tickets for the event come with a hefty price tag, and they always get snapped up in a jiffy. Keep in mind that for eligible students, scholarships are available, and young developers out there who are between the ages of 13 to 17 must make sure that a guardian or parent purchases the ticket. And if you want some one-on-one time with Apple CEO Tim Cook, it isn't impossible, but it will cost a pretty penny. And it's not just for Java. You can sip coffee at the Apple headquarters in Cupertino, California. This is part of the Robert F. Kennedy Center for Justice and Human Rights 2013 spring auction. The bid for coffee with Tim Cook is valued at $50,000, but bids skyrocketed into 6 digits. If you are so inclined, the bid closes on Tuesday, May 14th, and proceeds will benefit the RFK Center. There are plenty of exciting open auctions that are still available. And that does wrap it up for your weekly technology segment from the NASDAQ market site. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.